Welcome back. Coveo is a software as a subscription service company, and its revenue from software as a subscription service rose by 6% in its most recent quarter. Let's talk to the Chief Executive Officer about the company. Louis Tetu is CEO of Coveo, and he joins us right now. Louis, thanks a lot for joining us. Let's begin just by reminding viewers what Coveo does. Your software allows companies, when they connect with their customers online, to deliver a very individually tailored offering to those customers online, correct?
That's right. So Coveo. Good morning, Paul. Coveo is a SaaS provider. We provide a software platform for enterprises that essentially becomes the spinal backbone for their digital experiences and the personalization of their digital experiences using AI, as well as the creation of their generative experiences, answering conversational experiences that you find in commerce or customer service or on their websites.
So how might it look from the point of view of a customer who's looking to purchase a product online and is therefore interfacing or dealing with a Coveo software offering?
Right. So typically, the customers we deal with are all very large enterprises, some of the tech leaders across the world, some large retailers and manufacturers and financial service companies. And essentially, the problem they have is they have content everywhere that is very heterogeneous, stored in multiple databases and et cetera. And now with generative AI, they also want to leverage their unstructured content, which, Paul, is all the documents and the customer comments and all the text that you find scattered everywhere within files and so on. And then in turn, they have experiences that, people are online, they're on websites and they're on, customer service sites or commerce sites trying to interact and find answers and products and solutions. So Coveo sits in the middle, essentially, as the layer that reaches content, can stitch content using AI, and it's called relevance technology that can really understand who Paul is and how to provide a very rich content experience that is, personalized for you, Paul, but also prescriptive in nature that will sort of anticipate your intent, your need, but also now in the world of generative AI, power up the LLM, the large language model, to create a conversational experience for you. And so that's why enterprises use Coveo as that spinal backbone for all their generative, digital, and agentic experiences. Okay,
talk to us about the quarter. In summary, software as a service subscription revenue grew by 6% to just under $33 million. Adjusted EBITDA was positive, but modestly positive at about $700,000. Tell us more about this quarter's performance.
Yeah, so it was a very good quarter for us because, first, one wants to understand the business model of Coveo. Essentially, 95% plus of our revenue is subscription revenue from SaaS subscription of our Uni platform. And that revenue is essentially highly recurring. It actually grew last quarter organically by about 107% net of churn. So it's very stable, it's very recurring. And that revenue is 82% gross margin. So it was a very good quarter because, post the launch of ChatGPT, the search market where we are and basically all the relevance engines and recommendation engines market, which is really Coveo's market, was highly disrupted. And now we've resumed, it's the third quarter in a row where we really announce a very substantial reacceleration. So not only our growth rate of bookings of subscription bookings is reaccelerating, but also, for the entire year, we were ahead of our cash flow projections of about $10 million US, now to 11.1 million, 6.8 million this past quarter. And so on all metrics, it was a great year and a great quarter. And we're starting now a new fiscal year, and we've provided guidance for that as well.
You had positive cash flow, as you just said, $6.8 billion in the quarter, positive adjusted EBITDA of about $700,000, but a net loss on the net income line. Are there accounting items, non-cash items, that push you into a loss position?
Yeah, there are some non-cash items. A business like ours, Paul, really looks at what we call the bookings trajectory and the recurring revenue trajectory. We look at the gross margin, we look at the cost to acquire this revenue stream, and what is the value of that revenue stream in the future relative to the acquisition cost. That ratio for Coveo in the SaaS industry is really top decile on the vast majority of those metrics. And so Coveo is a very healthy, you said it, is a cash flow positive company with a very, very strong balance sheet, no debt. But more importantly, the more important part of the Coveo story here is that enterprises are now adopting AI. They're now, they have now moved from discovering and experimenting AI to adopting AI, into areas where they can really earn a lot of benefits. And the types of technology, the technology we provide allows them to save a lot of money, slash costs in customer service, increase revenue in commerce, and make employees far more proficient and with massive productivity gains. And so this is really what we're seeing is the reacceleration of the adoption of AI, and a much more mature buyer who understands the uniqueness of the technology that we have.
You believe we've got about 1 minute left, so we need a quick answer here. But your guidance for the current fiscal year, which you have now just begun, is for growth in the core software as a subscription service revenue to be as much as 17% in this fiscal year. What gets it there?
That's right. So, investments that we've made, obviously, as we anticipated the growth of this market. So we've guided for the full year that is just starting on the SaaS subscription revenue, between 141.5 and 144.5. That's U.S. dollars, because we always report in U.S. dollars. And the big metric, Paul, in our industry is called the Rule of 40. Or the rule of, which is essentially the sum of free cash flow and growth rate. And we expect Coveo to exit the next year near 30, around the Rule of 40, which in the SaaS industry is extremely healthy. So we're quite proud of the differentiation of the company and the growth perspective in the AI market. And we think we're a beneficiary in the AI market.
Louis, thank you very much for joining us today. That's Louis Tetu, CEO of Coveo. When we come